Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our beautiful weather window today and look at this shot from our Sky-Fi tower camera. That's up at Wenatchee Heights at the cross camera we call it, and all that blue sky all over north central Montana today. The sun was shining almost for all of us in the state of Washington today. Another record high temperature set in Seattle. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But for us, we are seeing that snow going away. But the good news is we aren't expected anyway to see a lot of major flooding here. A good chance that we'll see some field flooding and some ponding. And those are usually the locations that drain poorly. And usually when we have snow or rain, those are the places that typically have a good chance of flooding. So that's really what we expect out of all this warm weather and this snow melt. Great news, meaning that our streams and rivers shouldn't, and I mean shouldn't, do any flooding or overflow as we move ahead towards the first day of spring tomorrow. And we'll talk more about this warm weather and how long it'll last coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Marijuana use among teens in Washington state has not increased since 2002. And there are a couple of city road projects underway that may cause traffic impacts. We'll tell you where. But first, we begin tonight a semi-truck rollover just after 10 o'clock this morning on US 2 and 97 near Dryden snarled traffic until early this afternoon. Trooper John Bryan of the Washington State Patrol says it's still unclear what caused the driver to lose control.
Right before the Dryden turnoff going westbound on State Route 2, a semi lost control. The semi had two flatbeds. They were full of pallets, full of flattened cardboard box. The truck rolled over on its left side, effectively blocking all the westbound lanes. Most of the pallets that are full of cardboard fell over the Jersey barrier and blocked lane 2 of eastbound State Route 2. Also, a few of them fell down. There's a gap between the roads there that goes down towards the river and fell on the bank just off the river. A couple fell on the river. A little bit of diesel and oil was spilled, but that was taken care of pretty quickly by fire, and so none of that got into the waterway at all.
The westbound lanes were closed for 3 hours because of that accident. Highway 2 completely reopened just before 2 o'clock this afternoon. The driver of the truck was injured and taken by ambulance to Central Washington Hospital, and according to Trooper Bryant, may be transferred to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle at some point tonight. Also this morning, shortly after the DOT set up detours for east and westbound traffic on North Dryden Road and Stein Hills Road this morning, another semi went over an embankment on Stein Hill Road, downed some power lines, and lost his load of apples. That road is not expected to reopen until sometime this evening. Marijuana use among teens in Washington state has not increased since 2002, according to a survey released by the Washington State Healthcare Authority. Recreational sales and use of marijuana became legal in the state in 2014 for those 18 and older. Frequent use of marijuana, defined as 6 or more days a month, is down from 2016 among 10th and 12th graders. But the report warns that since legalization, high schoolers see little risk from marijuana use, increasing the likelihood of future use. Use of alcohol and cigarette smoking is also down among teens, though the use of e-cigarettes or vaping continues to surge. Well, a couple of road projects to tell you about tonight. All of this week, Wenatchee Public Works will be putting in LED streetlights on Wenatchee Avenue and Chelan Avenue. The work will take place each night this week between 7 p.m. and 4 a.m. The road will remain open in both directions with flagging services for rolling lane closures at streetlight locations. Tomorrow, crews will be working on a fire line at 24 North Wenatchee Avenue. That work is from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. Southbound traffic will be detoured. Coming up next, State Senator Brad Hawkins told NCWLIFE News today that though he'd never vote for him, he is fascinated by Washington Governor Jay Inslee's campaign for president. The search for a new superintendent at Cascade School District is nearing an end, and a popular business has been chosen as the new merchant for the antique Airstream trailer at Pybus Public Market. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
My name is Hannah Peterson-Kinney, and I'm a certified nurse midwife. I became a midwife because I thought birth was one of the most amazing, beautiful things. It's about caring for women through many stages of life and helping to empower them with knowledge and build partners to improve their health. It would be an honor to provide care for you, and I would love to welcome you to the CVCH midwife family.
When you have to get there on time and looking good, call Fast, Friendly, Reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. Available 24/7, AC Checker Taxi has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee for your pre-booked call. Some conditions apply. Call 663-8294. AC Checker, 663-TAXI. Schedule your ride ASAP or book up to a year in advance online at acchecker.com. American Classic Checker Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old, fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
Welcome back. In another news, 12th District State Senator Brad Hawkins told NCWLIFE today that though he'd never vote for him, he is fascinated by Washington Governor Jay Inslee's campaign for president.
My first thought would be, I don't intend to vote for the governor, so let me just sort of preface my comments with that. He and I disagree on many, many policy issues and taxes and different approaches to government. But having said that, and I'm not a Democrat, but I certainly think it's pretty cool that he's running for president. When I look at, from a Republican point of view, and I look at the different Democratic candidates, and maybe there's 15 or 20 now that have announced, I actually think Governor Inslee is among the more qualified. He has congressional experience. He's served on both sides of the state. He has 8 years now or 6 or 7 years now of executive experience. Certainly our economy has been very strong while he's been our governor. There's differences of opinion as to who claims credit for that, but the facts are the facts, and our economy has been strong. So I think the governor brings a lot of experience to the arena. I think it's personally neat that he's on the national scene talking about issues and representing our state, because I notice he wears the Washington Apple pin too, so he wears that proudly. So, the governor, even though he and I have disagreed on, like I said, many, many things, I do think he's a charismatic person. He's a likable guy. He is politically savvy. And when you look at his political qualifications, at least on paper, I think they stack up as good or better than any of the other Democratic members.
The search for a new superintendent to replace Bill Motzenbacher at Cascade School District is nearing an end. The school board will be interviewing finalist Dr. Tracy Beckendort-Edu today, and the community will have a chance to question her during an open public forum later tonight. The district learned this week that the second finalist, Dr. Wade Behringer, withdrew his name from consideration as the timing of the move was apparently not in his best interest. That leaves Beckendorf-Edu as the lone remaining candidate. The board meets in regular session tomorrow and is expected to discuss her qualifications during a closed executive session. If they decide to offer her the position, she will enter into contract negotiations with the board, and then a final announcement will be planned on or before the week of March 25th through the 29th. Tonight's community forum is from 7:30 to 8:30 at the district's office boardroom. Little Red's Espresso and Bakery has been chosen as the new merchant for the antique Airstream trailer at Pybus Public Market. Owned by Aubrey Dickinson, Little Red's already operates a popular espresso and bakery near Lake Wenatchee. Little Red's Espresso and Bakery will open for business at 6 a.m. this Saturday, March 23rd, and will open at 6 a.m. daily, 7 days a week moving forward. Little Red's was voted Best Roadside Coffee Stand in the 2017 King 5 magazine's Best Northwest Escapes. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Hi, I'm Clayton Walker, General Manager at Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Wenatchee, and I'd like to invite everyone to the dealership to see how easy it is to buy your next new or pre-owned vehicle at your local dealership.
And I'm Mick Fabian, General Sales Manager, and we currently have a huge selection of new and pre-owned vehicles on the lot to choose from, including the 2019 Motor Trend Truck and SUV of the Year.
So come on down to town and let us earn your business in 2019 at 1001 North Miller Street in Wenatchee.
I'm working today.
I've got some work to do today.
Don't forget, I've got some work for you today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Thanks.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in our community.
New beginnings feel great, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Be a job creator. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In observance of National Flood Preparation Awareness Week, NCWLIFE News received a status report on what to expect in Chelan County this spring. The mountain snowmelt is starting, but there are no reports of flooding so far this early in the season. But Assistant Public Works Director Josh Patrick says he anticipates possible problems in areas that have seen water damage in the past.
We don't have anything that's out of the ordinary, which I don't know if you'd necessarily call ordinary the last few years we've had, but we kind of talked about earlier, Mission Creek, keep an eye on the small streams like that. Ardenvor area, Mad River, that's where we did have that Cougar Creek fire last year, so some of the
Wherever
reports.
you have burn scars, you're going to have some elevated concerns then.
Correct, yeah. And the Ardenvor area was one community that we've had some concerns with, and we've had a public meeting up there to kind of let them know. We haven't done anything in advance of that quite yet. We are planning on putting some stream gauges up there later this summer when the river levels get down a little bit lower, so we can get out there and do it. But that'll be a more real-time way to measure the stream flows if something does start to creep the water flows up a little higher.
So as those streams start to rise, I'm sure there's going to be some issues with possible, flooding and that type of thing. What's available to property owners and residents in this area to help them?
Sure, yeah. For what we can provide, we've got a lot of sandbags at each of our district shops in Cashmere, Leavenworth, Aniat, and Wenatchee. So those are free to the public. People want to come down and get some sandbags, put them places on their property where they think it might help protect their homes or whatever. So other than that, we're just monitoring these streams, and I guess we also ask that the public keep an eye out too if they start seeing water where they necessarily haven't seen it in a long time, getting ready for those floods to come and impact their homes.
Also, I think there's also the issue of erosion, unstable slopes and that type of thing, and that's been a historic problem, I know, down in the Squilchuck area, going up, you know, to, was it Whispering Pines?
Yeah, Whispering Ridge.
Cranmer Road.
Yep. Yeah, Whispering Ridge, we're more in a monitoring status on that one. We haven't seen a lot of movement in the last couple of years, but it is typically springtime and late fall when the soils are really moist. We start to see more movement. Similar with Cranmer. Cranmer's a little more active. You can see what's actually coming down off the hillside. So our guys will plan on being out there to clean that muck off the road behind. We put some barrier up there to kind of help protect the road and keep a section of it open. And our guys will get behind it and dig the mud and goo out when they get a chance.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. And before we get into those very nice details, let's take another beautiful look outside our weather window today, looking down at the Wenatchee Valley, and talk about beautiful blue sky and lots of sunshine out here for us. This is our view from our Sky-Fi tower camera at Billings Heights near the cross up that way. And just a fantastic day all over North Central Washington. We talked yesterday, Seattle set a record high yesterday of 76 degrees. Can you believe that? Today they were expected to get to 77 degrees, and they're going to shatter their old record, which was only 62. So this warm weather is all over the state of Washington. Spokane today also a high temperature of 60 degrees. We haven't got to 60 quite yet here in the Wenatchee area. Unofficially today at 57 degrees at Pangbourne Airport, 34 our overnight low. Boy, we're almost where we should be, aren't we? Finally, as far as temperatures go, to normal. 55 is our normal high temperature, so we got a little bit above that today, and just a little bit below our normal low temperature of 36 degrees. Record high 68, that was set back in 1999, and our record low 19 degrees in 1965. Sunrise this morning was at 7:06, and sunset tonight at 7:12. Taking a look at what we could expect now over the next 6 days. Tonight mostly clear skies, and we will see very mild overnight low temperatures into the mid-30s, but look at all the clear skies all the way back to the Dakotas, down into Colorado, and back into Washington State. There's still that large area of low pressure off the Pacific coast. We talked a little bit about that last night. It will form a little bit over the next 24 hours, but really won't affect us that much, at least in the short term. Tomorrow, sunny and warmer with high temperatures flirting with 60 degrees once again. On Thursday, sunshine. We'll see unseasonably warm weather. I think this will be the day that we do hit 60 degrees, but take a look once again at this area of low pressure circulating out in the Pacific. And as we transition to our rain map, we will see some clouds and a little bit of rainfall begin to move in about noon. Increasing clouds for us on Friday. Most of the rain will stay in western Washington, but by Friday night, that will push inland. We could see a little bit of snowfall above, don't worry about it, above 3,000 feet, mainly in the Cascades. We do have a 40% chance of rain here in the Wenatchee Valley. Moving into our weekend, we could see some sprinkles, mainly in the early morning hours of Saturday, and then mostly cloudy skies. We'll see a bit of a cool down as well. We're not going to see temperatures approaching 60. They'll be back down closer to 50 degrees. Same goes for Sunday. Partly cloudy skies to end our weekend. Really not bad, with high temperatures in the low to mid 50s. And let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune forecast. Tonight will drop down. I mentioned it, a lot more mild. 37 degrees for us tonight. 59 the high temperature for Wednesday, 60 your high temperature for Thursday. Not bad for Friday, but we will see increasing clouds, as I mentioned, and about a 40% chance of rain overnight into our Saturday morning, and then mostly cloudy skies. After that, rain ends on Saturday, and 51, 52 then for both Sunday and Monday with mostly sunny skies. But let's get back to Wednesday for a second. Of course, the first day of spring, and how about that? Almost 60 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no-cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
Are you watching me? If you're watching me and you are a business owner in North Central Washington, your potential customers could be seeing your TV commercial right now. With Solion Broadcasting, TV advertising is effective and affordable. Place your ads on the network best suited to your potential customers, or get top-of-mind awareness with 16 cable networks, including NCWLIFE, your local TV channel. Give Solion Broadcasting a call at 888-2020 today to see how easy and affordable it is to advertise on TV.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Tuesday to you. Game 3 of Wenatchee's playoff series with Cowichan Valley is tonight at 7 o'clock. Best of 7 series tied at a game apiece after the Caps won Game 1 Friday 3-2. Wild came back and won Game 2 Saturday 6-3. Lifetime, Wenatchee's 3-0-1 playing at the Island Savings Center in Duncan, BC. The Wild beat the Caps there earlier this season 4-3 in overtime. They beat them in October of 2017 in their house, also 4-3 in overtime. Wenatchee came out on top in January of 2017. 5-0, and the first time the Wild played at Cowichan Valley was December of 2015, Wenatchee's first year in the BCHL, with the game ending in a 2-2 tie in double overtime. Art Checker has the call on 560 KPQ throughout North Central Washington. You can also see the game on hockeytv.com for a slight fee. We will have highlights tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Game 4, by the way, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Game 5 back in Wenatchee Friday at 7. Well, the scheduled baseball game between Wenatchee and Eastmont at Rec Park has been postponed due to the, everything snow, but there will be some soccer next door in the Apple Bowl tonight. Wenatchee's hosting West Valley and Big 9 play at 7 o'clock. Eastmont's on the road at Moses Lake to take on the Chiefs, also at 7. Earlier in the day, Cashmere took on Okanagan. On the prep baseball schedule for today, Cashmere with a doubleheader on the road at Royal. Cascade traveling to Ephrata for a single game on their JV field. Waterville Men's Field, meanwhile, on the road at Manson. On the fast pitch diamonds today, Waterville Mansfield in Manson. Also the Cascade Kodiaks at Ephrata, Wenatchee and Eastmont. That was scheduled today, has been postponed. Sterling still a long way from being able to be played upon. Well, they've cleared the tennis courts to allow play today. Eastmont at West Valley, while Cascade was traveling at Cashmere. Turning to Major League Baseball, the Mariners swept a couple of games over the weekend in the Tacoma Dome. Wouldn't that be interesting? How about the Tokyo Dome? There you go. They beat the Yomiuri Giants, including a 6-5 win on Sunday. Ichiro thrilled the capacity crowd earlier in the game, displaying the cannon of an arm he still possesses. Well, of course, they're hanging on every move that he makes as he makes his famous trip return home. He'll be in the lineup, by the way, coming up tonight. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Now, Mitch Haniger's 2-run home run tied the game in the 7th, and then backup catcher David Freitas broke the tie in the 8th. That Tokyo Dome reminds me a little bit of the old King Dome, doesn't it? Back in Arizona, meanwhile, the Mariners have a split squad game today against the Cubs before opening the season tomorrow, and Thursday against the Oakland A's in Tokyo. Marco Gonzalez, after going 13-9 with a 4.0 earned run average last season, gets the start, and that ends the 10-year consecutive string of opening day starts by Felix Hernandez. The A's will counter with Mike Fiers, who went 12-8 last year with a 3.56 ERA. The first pitch is tomorrow morning, 2:35 in the morning. You going to be up? Well, it's on ESPN TV if you want to watch it. Also, tonight, the ceremonial first pitch will include former Mariner pitcher Kazuhiro Sasaki and catcher Kenji Jojima. The standing at the plate, Hall of Famer and Mr. Oakland A, Ricky Henderson. How about that? Now, for the second game, it'll be Thursday morning, bright and early again. The ceremonial battery will be Kaiichi Yabu throwing to Akinori Iwamura, and standing at the plate, none other than Ken Griffey Jr. Wouldn't that be fun if he just decided to crank one? Yeah, that would be kind of fun. That's sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom on the NCWLIFE channel. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. And recapping tonight's top news story, a semi-truck rollover just after 10 o'clock this morning on U.S. Highway 2 and 97 near Dryden snarled traffic until early this afternoon. Trooper John Bryan of the Washington State Patrol says it's still unclear what caused the driver to lose control. The truck was carrying stacked bales of cardboard. The westbound lane was closed for 3 hours. Highway 2 completely reopened just before 2 o'clock this afternoon. The driver of the truck was injured and taken by ambulance to Central Washington Hospital, and according to Trooper Bryant, may be transferred to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle at some point tonight. Shortly after that, the DOT set up detours for east and westbound traffic on North Dryden Road and Steins Hill Road. Another semi went over an embankment on Steins Hill Road, downed some power lines, and lost his load of apples. That road is not expected to reopen until sometime this evening. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCWLIFE channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
NCWLIFE channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and other stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCWLIFE channel is your local TV station.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes. My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Yes, we are live from Studio 2. I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We got news, we got sports, we got weather, we got obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays. Tom Potter joins me in studio. How are you? And Rod Cool is my guest today. Expert is Bonnie Orr. We're broadcasting live from Studio 4, from Studio 2, Studio 7 here in downtown Wenatchee. Time for the obscure holiday of the day. Your Dog to Work Day. Beautician's Day. It's National Selfie Day, and in honor of National Selfie Day, I'm going to take a picture of myself.
Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Mornings at 7 o'clock on the NCWLIFE channel.